everybody, welcome to another art vlog. Today I am going to be talking about the things that I do when I'm lacking inspiration or I just feel like I'm in a bit of a creative block and I need to get things flowing again. Whether you're a skilled artist or not, creative block is frustrating and it happens to us all. So I figured why not share some of my tips that I use to maybe help some of my fellow artists out of a creative rut. Number one, my favourite thing to do is to look back at my older work, and usually what I will find in there is something that I've abandoned a long time ago maybe, and I'll look at it again and I'll feel refreshed inspiration, and I'll probably open the file up and just start tweaking, and before you know it, like I've lost my whole day to editing and reworking this piece that I had kind of forgotten about. So I always find that kind of useful. It can also just help me to sort of regain my train of thought and process around what I was thinking. Second of all is look at what other artists are doing. I open up my phone, go to Instagram, and I just start scrolling through my art feed. Being very, very careful, mind, not to fall into comparison traps, which I've kind of talked about in my previous vlog, but maybe that's a whole other topic for a whole other day. Social media gives us access to millions of people that we wouldn't necessarily have ever had a chance of meeting without social media. Social media is such a wonderful, collaborative, inspiring place, mostly, and you can just see what other artists are up to. Maybe something that they're doing inspires something within you. Maybe you want to try working in their style, but if not, this brings me to my third suggestion, which is draw this in your style. So you can just open up Instagram once again. I'm sure this exists on Twitter and maybe Tumblr, although I don't use those platforms, so I don't know. But draw this in your style is exactly what it sounds like. An artist will have put up something that they have worked on and said explicitly, draw this in your style, which gives you carte blanche to take their work and reproduce it in your style. I really like these challenges because there's no need for you to have put in any of the work in terms of like the inspiration. It's already been done for you. All you have to do is take this piece, draw it in your style and put it back out there. Number 4 is Pinterest. A little bit like scrolling on social media. Obviously Pinterest is a social media platform, but a bit like scrolling on Instagram, you can scroll on Pinterest, but you can also put in particular search terms. So for me, I use it for a lot of like female portraiture or like flowers, clothing, things like that. And I've actually put a link to my Pinterest board that I use for inspiration in the description below. Number 5 is create something new. It could just be that you are a little bit bored and stuck doing what you normally do, whether it's painting or drawing or whatever, mosaic, who knows, and you just need to go and do something different for a bit. So maybe get in the kitchen, do some baking, cook a meal, make a dessert, or you could knit, crochet, sew, you could go out in the garden, do some gardening, whatever it is. Just try something different for a bit. Sometimes we just get really kind of stuck in our habits and our routines and we need something to break it up to refresh us and give us some rejuvenation. Number 6 is try a different medium, which is kind of related to the one that I just said about creating something new. But why don't you just try a different medium? Maybe it's something that you have not done for a while. For me, that would be watercolor. I haven't picked up actual paints in several months, so maybe going back to that, just the basics. For you, maybe you've not tried something that you'd really like to try and you just give that a go instead. Again, just breaking up the monotony and doing something different can be what's needed when we are feeling creatively run dry. Number 7 is go to your favorite places or just go somewhere different. Again, let's just break it up. You know, we are creatures of habit and sometimes we get stuck. So why don't you go to a cafe to work instead, or go for a walk in nature? I find sometimes when I just give myself that space and I go for a walk or something, that's usually when my mind slows down enough to begin being creative once again. So this is number 8, bonus tip number 8, which is not even in my blog, which I'm gonna have to go and do now. Tidy your space. This might sound trivial, but our creativity cannot flourish in chaos, and if you've got an untidy house, your mind is also likely to be kind of messy and untidy and you're not really sure what you're doing. So tidy your space. Have some gratitude for the space that you do have, and show that by keeping it clean and tidy. Sometimes you come across something that you'd forgotten about and it reignites your inspiration, or just simply that feeling of, everything is clean and I can now proceed to slow my mind down and get back into my creative process. If all of these don't work for you, you have my sympathy, because being in a creative rut is no fun, and it can feel so frustrating and so maddening that you just don't know what to do. But rest assured, it will come back. If you are truly an artist, and you probably know whether you are or not, if it's really in your blood, if it's there, it will come back to you. As much as you might like to ignore it, it will come back to you. And I speak from personal experience. Every time I have thrown my stuff away, well, not really, I just put it in a box and forget about it. Every time I've done that out of anger or frustration, eventually it always needs to come back out because I get inspired again. So, hopefully this has been helpful to you. These are the things that I do to help myself, and I enjoy helping my fellow artists because it is a tough world sometimes to be an artist in, and we need to stick together, basically. I will be back with another vlog next week. In the meantime, you can find me on Instagram, and I've also linked below to my blog and to my Pinterest board, etc, etc. You can find me, I'm out there, and I'll be back next week with another video. Bye guys!